Everyone, my name is Catherine Bennett. I'm the Director of Social Media and Content with the Atlanta Outdoor Club, and I'm so excited. Lisa Maldonado is joining us today. She's a great friend and a fellow outdoor enthusiast. Hello, Lisa.
Hey, Catherine, good to see you.
Hey, I wanted to pick your brain. I think you travel more than anyone I know in the world. And at my age, I feel like I know, quite a few people now. First of all, how are you able to do this, and where did you get your passion?
Um, I'm able to travel because of my job. I'm a flight attendant and I do get free flight benefits. So I'm able to go to many places that other people really wouldn't be able to afford to go. And I think I got my passion from travel. When I was young, I loved globes and travel books, and I had my maps that I would look at and research different places, even as a young child. And then when my grandmother passed away, I was in my 30s. And I went through her old photos and I realized that she was an avid traveler. She went to the Grand Canyon, she went all over the world, and she never told me. And it really, really did make me feel that that's where I got my passion for travel from.
Interesting. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry to hear about your grandmother, but happy for you that you've had all these amazing adventures. Speaking of amazing adventures, you've led quite a few of them for the Atlanta Outdoor Club, and we thank you for that because I know that takes a lot of hard work and time. Wanted to ask you about a trip you led in 2024, Montenegro. I think that was a pretty good trip, huh?
Yes, that was a great trip. I co-led it with David Wittenberg. We've worked together on many of the international trips, and we do a lot of research and we put a lot of time and effort into planning these trips. And Montenegro was a great success. I mean, we went to two different national parks, Dermator and another park, which is really difficult to say. It's like Glipsic, something like that, but it's
Like,
super super difficult to say. But we hiked in various terrains. We hiked around lakes, and then we hiked up into the high mountain peaks across rocks, and super super difficult. Um, we were guided by a local tour guide, and he was pretty awesome. He picked us up in the main city. It's actually the capital, and that's Podgorica. And in Podgorica, before the trip, we did a walking tour. And it was a quite awesome walking tour. And then after we went into the second part of our journey, we went over to another national park and we hiked the high peaks into Albania. But to begin with, some Jeeps picked us up and brought us on these roads that were barely existent. Two of the Jeeps were having difficulty, and one got stuck pretty badly, and we were worried we would not get to the trailhead because the roads were not well maintained at all. But when we did, we actually hiked by some waterfalls and some beautiful blue pools. And then it got quite difficult after that. We had to climb some pretty high peaks, and we had lunch in this little hut that people left. We don't know why, but it was quite an adventure sitting there in their little hut having our lunch. And after that, after we crossed the border, we came across this big monument telling us that we were crossing the border into Albania. And it did get quite hard at that point, a lot of gravel. And when we were going down, quite a few of us slipped. So it was a quite difficult journey, and but it was worth it. When we got to the end, we had a local Albanian beer with some locals in a little tavern while we were waiting for our ride to pick us up.
wow, that's interesting. Um, Now, I know we could probably spend all day talking about all your international trips, but I wanted to move on to Portugal. And I know you've been there
Okay.
once, but I wanted to focus on the 2022 trip that you led with the club. What were some of the highlights from that adventure?
Okay. Yes, that was quite amazing too. We hiked along the seashore. So It was beautiful, beautiful craggy cliffs with the waves just hitting. And we did some, it's not just flat. It was quite challenging, a lot of hills, and the scenery along the coast was absolutely wonderful. It was incredible to see such blue ocean. So we did do some tough climbs, and we did part of the Fisherman Way Trail, and it was awesome because we would stop in some little towns and have lunch along the way. So it was quite interesting to eat some of the local seafood as we were hiking, and we had our luggage transported every day to our next destination, which was great because we didn't have to carry it on our backs.
Yeah, that's
Um,
nice.
yeah, it was really, and everybody loved it. It was just an amazing adventure. We did hire the REI guides to lead us. They are no longer with REI, so we did a little research. Me and David Wittenberg, again, co-leading together, and we did some research, and we discovered that they were pretty good. They knew everything about the trails there, so we went with them.
I think
But
David's been
Portugal
a
is,
great co-leader with you too. It sounds like
yes, we work really well together, and we have some future trips coming up. We're talking about Norway and a few other places. So we do, like I said, work extremely well together. We compromise and we interview our guides if we're having our guides through Zoom calls before we select them.
smart.
So we do put a lot of work into it.
Smart. Okay, so back to Portugal. Sorry.
That's okay. So Portugal, it's just an amazing country with beautiful scenery, and the people there are absolutely wonderful. They're very friendly, and they like to talk about their culture, and they like to share their food and their wine. So we did drink a lot of wine and eat the wonderful food along the way, and desserts. They're heavily into desserts. So we ate the desserts and then hiked off the calories afterwards.
Say you're like in such amazing shape. How did you pull that off? But I guess you burned off your calories on the trail.
We did. We burned the calories off.
It's nice.
We thought it was going to be a little bit cooler. It turned out to be, it was in October, and it turned out to be an extremely hot month. So we did suffer a little bit from the heat. It got up to about 105 one
oh,
day.
oh my God.
And so we did suffer hiking some of the more difficult trails with it being so warm outside and humid.
Yeah, sometimes you do have to adapt when you're traveling, unfortunately, to the weather
Right,
conditions. And something you
right.
had to on that trip too. But it didn't ruin the trip, obviously. You still had a great
Oh,
time.
it did not ruin the trip. It was truly amazing. My guide had to yell at me a few times for stopping and taking so many pictures.
I probably have the same person yelling at me too, taking pictures. And you're such a great photographer. I love that.
Thank you. Thank you.
What about Italy? I know you have Italy coming up.
Yes, I am planning a trip to the Dolomites, and I originally had it planned in 2022 or 2021, and we had to cancel due to COVID. Everything shut down, the borders closed down. So I redesigned the trip, and we're staying in the east side and the west side of the Dolomites so that we don't have to do as much driving. But I have some amazing, amazing hikes planned of some of their most famous scenic hikes with the three tiers of rocks, and very much looking forward to it. Also looking forward to some wonderful Italian food, and just exploring the culture there in the northern part of Italy.
So how did you come up with the plan with this trip? Did you work with an outfitter or how did that come about?
No, I spent many, many months researching trails,
Oh,
and researching which is the best month. And it took me a long time, but I think I have perfected it. Some of the trails we'll have to take some of the gondolas up to the top, and then we'll do the trails at the top of the mountain peaks.
Lisa, you do such a great job. I always hear great feedback about your trips. What do you get out of organizing these trips? Because I know it's a lot of work. Why do you do it for the club?
Uh, well, it does keep my mind active, and I like to focus on something. But I also like to see members of the club and people that are so amazed that they can actually do some of the events. And sometimes it's harder than they thought. And I am just so thrilled when somebody challenges themselves and really, really gets back and we have a social and they're telling the story of how hard it was and how challenged they were and how beautiful it was. So I just love to make people happy.
Love that about you. And that's one of the great things about the club, right? We're all kind of learning from each other and growing from
That's
each other.
right. Yep. Yep. That's right. And we support each other on some of these hard hikes and help each other out and help each other to keep going when we think we can't do it anymore, when we can't take another step. So we
So,
do encourage each other.
um, so I wanted to ask you, you've been to so many places. Have you been to all the continents at this point in your life?
um, Yes, I actually have been to all the continents, and I've been focusing on with Atlanta Outdoor Club. I've done Bolivia, Ecuador, Guatemala, Mexico events, and I would like to start doing some more events in Asia. So I'm thinking of doing something in Japan, and of course, I would love to do Vietnam and Cambodia. So that's on my list also. I've done a lot in Europe also, so I figure it's time to move on to a new continent.
Yeah, Talks do has done a lot of trips to Europe, and we've done some to Africa and South America. But it would be great to see more Asian, Southeast Asia trips on the calendar. And I think that's awesome that you're inspired or interested in doing that too. So thank you.
Yeah, no worries. Looking forward to it. So that should be coming maybe next year or the following year. I have some ideas going right now and some research going right now.
Lisa, we're marking 25 years since the club was started. Looking back, what are your impressions of where we've started when, at least when you joined, and how far we've come now as far as events and people? What reflections do you have?
Okay, so when I first started, there were not that many people in the club. So I've seen it grow so much and made so many new friends. Each event that you do is totally different. Each leader is different. So I've seen a change in the type of events that we do. And in the beginning, I would say it was more social. We didn't do as many challenging events. And now there's so many challenging events. There's rock climbing events, there's kayaking events. Um, we used to do a lot more pioneer camping. We don't see that as much anymore, but hopefully that will make a comeback. The different
Those
type
are
of
fun.
events is what I see. That the biggest change.
Yeah, it's evolved. Some people have come and gone, some people have moved away, some people sadly
Definitely.
passed away.
Yeah,
I think that's just the nature of any organization. It's going to evolve in different ways over time. And you've
exactly.
had a back seat and been able to watch a lot of it. You're one of the longest serving members, I think, right?
Right, right. So it is pretty interesting to see some of the new members joining and how excited they are. And, it's great that we can encourage them to keep going and keep trying to do some more difficult events.
All right, Lisa. Well, thank you so much for your time. I literally could spend hours picking your brain about all these locations and more, but we try to keep the podcast relatively short. But that means you have to come back another time to talk about some other places.
I would love to. I have so many stories.
All right. Well, it was good to talk to you. Thank you, everyone, for joining us on this conversation, and we'll see you on the trails. Bye bye.
Okay, bye-bye.